Okay, if point C is 8, -1, and point D is at -2, 3, what is the distance between the 2 points? Enter your answer as a number rounded to 1 decimal place if necessary, like this, 42.5. Okay, this is how I would navigate this if I didn't remember how to find the distance between 2 points and I couldn't figure it out using the information in the notes. I would pull up a new tab and I would type in distance between 2 points. And then it can pull up a distance formula. I always like to go to images because it often leads me to just step-by-step questions. So this is a good one to refer back to, and I will actually include it in the link in here. But I'm just looking at this picture and I'm noticing that they had the distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so, and then it labels them, it substitutes them in, and then it simplifies. So I think I can follow that. So again, the distance formula, and again, you could always go back and look for anything in a red. It will have the distance, it'll have a formula in it. So again, here's the distance formula. The distance is equal to our square root of x sub 2 minus our x sub 1, and that is being squared, plus the y sub 2 minus y sub 1 being squared. Ta-da! What does this mean? Again, that's kind of the way that I work in math is can you make this contextual? What does x2 minus x1 mean? Well, it means the horizontal distance. And what is y2 minus y1? Well, since you're dealing in the y and y is vertical, it is representing the vertical distance between your points. So knowing that, let's jump back to our question and see if we can now solve it. So is this giving me a coordinate system? No, it's just giving me the points. So the first thing that I would do is I would again label it, which one's x2, which one's x1, which one's y2, which one's y1. A good rule of thumb is just start at the beginning. Since x coordinates are listed first, I would just say, okay, this is x sub 1. It's my first x coordinate. That means that what follows is not y, is not x sub 2, because this is a coordinate and coordinates come in pairs of x's and y's. It's coming in a pair of where it's located horizontally and where it's located vertically. So this is y sub 1. So when you look at another point, that is where it becomes x sub 2. And then again, since it's x and y pairs, this is y sub 2. So this is probably the easiest route to go through. So x sub 2, if I replace that, is a -2. And x sub 1, by substitution, is being represented by 8. It's located right there. Y sub 2 is 3, and y sub 1 is negative 1. So now the question is, well, there's already that subtraction sign in there. I'm not going to have to enter another negative sign. Notice that this subtraction sign was built into the equation already right here, and it is representative again right there. It already has a representation. The negative attached to the 1 does not, so it does need to be included. So this is going to be a negative 1. And I write it out like that to hopefully trigger that a negative minus a subtract minus a negative changes to a plus. So this is actually, wow, what's going on here? Plus 1. So then when we look at this formula, we have the distance is equal to, well, negative 2 minus 8 is negative 10, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So when we jump over to our calculator, we can do this in 2 steps, or we can do it all in one. If we're doing it in one, please make sure that you add another set of parentheses. And so that can be the parentheses around the negative 10. Close that parentheses just like it is in that formula. Square it. Plus another set of parentheses, 4. Close parentheses and square it. And then notice there's that 1 built in. The reason why I'm having you add in these parentheses is because the calculator doesn't know that they are there. So when we hit enter, it gives us the distance is equal to 10.770, and it says enter your answer as a rounded to 1 decimal place. Okay, so since this is our goal, the 1 decimal place, I'm going to look at the other one. This is how I interpret it. 0.77. I just look at this point, 0.77. Okay, so is 77 closer to 80 or closer to 70? 77 is closer to 80, so that's why when you hear that 7 is going to round that up to an 8, it's because if you looked at this whole number, is 77 closer to 80 or closer to 70? It's closer to 80, so it's approximately equal to 10.8. So that's what we would type in for our solution. I hope that helps.